Best students are enthusiastic students. The students who come to class, who really get engaged with the work in journalism. And I want them all to become journalists. So when they're happy with their choice of journalism and when they're enthusiastic about writing their stories or talking about ethical issues, that's what makes me most happy. And I think that's what makes them the good students. I think it's working with the students, especially working with students on projects. Some of the students will work on long-range writing projects, and there'll be lots of editing and a lot of editing involved, and they'll be doing different drafts. And you know, I like it when they are relentless in trying to come up with a good story or the best story that they can do. Seeing the students succeed, I think, oftentimes it's most noticeable from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. And when students really sort of get in touch with the material and they are able to, you know, in our case, report a story, ask a lot of questions, gather information, and then put all that information together in a clear and compelling fashion in a well-written story. Well, I was a very avid racquetball player until about a year ago when I partially tore a rotator cuff. And so I've since toned down. I still work out a lot, spend a lot of time with my wife and 3 children and 3 grandchildren.
I think because of the nature of the program that we're in, I find my students to be, and I love this, very inquisitive. I also find them to be incredibly opinionated and they like to challenge authority, which I personally applaud. When I'm teaching, I learn a lot in the classroom. Maybe it's just the nature of the work that we do, but I've always learned a lot in the classroom. So that's the best part of teaching. The best part of making films for me is it keeps me engaged. And I love working with actors. That's my passion. So directing, I would say, is right up there with writing for me. You know, unexpected things motivate me. A story I didn't expect to be told will get me excited and recharge. Curiosity motivates me. People who are inquisitive. I think that the most important thing you can do as a teacher is make sure you inspire someone, because we all have someone that inspired us. And for me, it depends on the day and who might pop into my head, but today it's Mary Campbell, who was my English language and literature professor at Brandeis. I thought I was going to be a professor of English because of her and because of my love for English literature. And she's the one who sent me to Poland on this program that ended up changing my life into the direction of becoming an ethnographer and a sociologist, or at least sociologically inspired. And that's how I started to make documentary films. So I have to give her the nod for that.
My best students share initiative, so they really sort of take advantage of every opportunity. They're motivated, they demonstrate responsibility and leadership, they get involved with clubs, they meet with professors outside of class to learn more about the topics. They look for every opportunity they can to gain more experience and knowledge to prepare them for the future. The excitement I see when students learn new concepts that are useful to them. And I'm also very much motivated by when I see, for example, alumni of our program and how they've been successful in their careers. David Waterman, who was one of the professors I worked with at Indiana University, he was an economist, and so he taught me a completely new way of looking at societal issues using a perspective I'd never considered before. Sailing and scuba diving. So anytime I can be on the water or underwater, I am a very happy person. And in the winter, I love to go cross-country skiing and downhill skiing. So I spend a lot of time studying electronic media. So on my free time, I really like to get outside in nature and turn those electronics off. The alumni pond area, so where the alumni house is, there's this beautiful pond and garden area. And then I'd say my second favorite is probably the fish tank at the hub. So I could stare at those fish all day as well.